Hey y'all, it's Alex and welcome back to my channel. Over here is day 21. The prompt word was treasure. Find it. Find the link for that. Top right corner. Today is the special episode where I'm going to let you guys follow through all of my process in real time, and you get to finally figure out how much and random pauses I've been cutting out this entire series. I don't know if I'm excited or nervous, but I am, however, excited for today's color. Today's color is Ecolines 533. It is indigo. And the thumbnail for today, I planned a lot. I don't know if I'm going to have this much. We'll see about doing all of these characters. However, the plan is to do kind of like a dorm room scene. I've been doing a lot with school characters this time. So maybe they'll be from the same witch's school as yesterday. I feel bad making them from the same witch's school as yesterday since we just did that yesterday. We'll see where the wind takes us. I think we are going to tape this one down. So I'm a little torn on whether or not I tape this one down. So on the tape side, the pros of tape are it gives border, which I like, and what the frickety frackle was I gonna say? It keeps the paper down, but it makes the size of the actual piece smaller, so I have to draw smaller people. So I think I'm going to do, again, a borderless piece, because I want, if I do decide to do the full 5 people in this piece, I want to make sure that I have the biggest space that I can. And now's the point where I just realized I meant to do a landscape. Alright, time to peel up the tape and do this over. Let's sketch out the room first. So we're gonna have the back wall about here, if I can get the ruler straight. Who are we kidding? I can't do anything straight. So where's the midpoint of this piece? I'm gonna put a temporary line in here so I can figure out where I want the end of the bed to be. So this is gonna be the top corner of the bed, and then the rest is gonna trail off towards the corner. Maybe only to about there, I'm thinking. So that's like the bottom base of the bed. And the line continues directly up from here. Since we're gonna kind of be looking at this scene from above, well, I don't want to fisheye the beds. So maybe the 1-point perspective really only works for down here. All right, so I want to have, I've included less bed space than I did in the thumbnail. Like originally there was supposed to be a lot more bed. However, I kind of like leaving it more open like this. It gives you the illusion that this dorm room has space. I'm just kind of sketching out where I want this rug to go. It really seems to be a thing with me this year that I like placing oblong round objects in like the dead center of pieces. But this is gonna be a pentagram rug. The witch is gonna be dead center here, and I'm thinking the ghost is gonna kind of be hovering above her. And basically this is a girls' night in kind of piece. So if that's just the bottom of the bed, I honestly might make it a square bottom to the bed just to make things a little easier on me. So how tall did I make that? That's 2.8 centimeters. So I need to do the same over here. Maybe I just make a line here. That might be easier. Just connect the lines, because it's always better to use a template than measure and be wrong. Because yeah, my measurement was off. It's a little curvy there, but we're probably gonna mostly cover up that area with blankets and pillows and all that stuff. I'm gonna add a mattress up on top here. And how wide did I make that? About 1 centimeter. So I'm thinking instead of having it be 4 beds, aka a bunk here and a bunk here, I'm thinking it's just 1 bed on either side, just to keep things simple. I'm gonna put a corner about where the edge of these beds are. And that'll leave more room for decorations, and I was gonna just have 1 window here, but I'm also gonna have the ghost here, and I don't wanna have to deal with looking through the window, through the ghost, So we're just gonna do one window on either side. So we'll make it from here to here. Same thing on the other side, though that one's a little longer. That window is a little crooked. Windowsill about there. We'll have to... That's a deep windowsill. Guess you wouldn't see that much windowsill from this perspective, potentially. Let's draw in the corners first. Sorry if this isn't the most entertaining part here. I just want to make sure that the piece makes sense, you know? There's not really much I can do about that shadow, I'm afraid. I'll tilt you guys a little, but I worry that this isn't the best angle to give you guys. I'm just gonna kind of block in where I want people. That foot looks funky, but we will fix that later. So what I'm thinking is these girls are doing a tarot reading, and that's where all of their attention is going to be pulled to. I think I want the vampire to be doing the reading, so just to kind of label them. So here we got the ghost, here we have the witch, here we've got the vampire, and then I was planning on having one student, or one girl on either bed. I'd say that's the best kneeling pose I think I've ever drawn. I want to change up the witch's pose a little bit. She looks like a doll right now. I might need to move the tarot circle. God, now's the point where I wish I kind of did stuff digitally, because it's so easy to just edit things around, at least space-wise. How do you draw crossed legs? I'm actually going to look up a reference real quick. Maybe we'll have the witch do the tarot reading. The witch will be the tall friend. The witch is going to be the biggest person in this group. Maybe we should make her head, instead of looking directly forward, she'll look down that way. I might also make the ghost a little bigger now. We'll see. I'm gonna kind of pick up some of the lead, or the graphite, over here, if I can, just so we have a little bit more space to draw in the girl that I plan to have over here. So this girl over here, is gonna be a naga. She's gonna just be kind of like coiled up over here. Maybe her tail will come off the bed instead. Give her a rattling tail. Maybe she's slightly alarmed by the readings of the tarot dealing. The pose she's in is kind of like she's slumped, her chest needs to go backwards. That's better. Maybe she's gonna have slightly pointed ears. Same with the vampire, even though they're going to be more pointed. We'll get more into details in a minute. Maybe she's gonna be like pointing. I don't want her to be scared. I want it to be kind of like a jovial night. So we're gonna get rid of the tail shaking. Maybe they're doing a tarot reading of future loves and she just got told that she's never gonna meet her crush. You know, things to get laughed at for. Alright, and then we have one space left over here. I'm going to do the same thing, erase some of my painstakingly done perspective. I think this girl over here is going to be the only one in profile view. Head is a little small, but we'll fix that. And she's going to kind of be half chillin' on the bed, almost ready to get up and go get something maybe. And this girl over here is going to be a Medusa. I'm going to make the ghost lean a little bit closer towards this way, because I feel bad that the Medusa is kind of like all over here on her own, and then these three are scooched that way. And maybe she's feeding little gummy mice to her rats, because they deserve a treat every now and again, right? That's better for her face shape. So maybe this room actually belongs to the snake girls and they just invited all of their friends over for the evening. Gotta delicately tie up these snakes. We'll figure out more of that as soon as we iron out the ghost, who is supposed to be like the star of this piece. You know, part of me almost wants to make two ghosts. I don't know when to quit. Don't think I'm gonna do that. We'll put the little bag of gummy mice right next to her here. She's going to neatly stack her blanket up. Ghosty Girl is gonna kind of be like floating upwards. Like that. God, I'm getting very Monster Prom vibes from this, if anybody has played that game. Gonna give her a nice big scrunchie. Maybe most of her bangs are floating up. Some sort of miscellaneous soda there. Alright, so let's get into details now that we've kind of figured out what her face looks like. What sort of pajamas am I gonna give her? And also, I think her arm is just gonna kind of be hanging down. Deciding to give her a shirt that says, "I ate your boo." Uh-huh. I think instead of doing any posters, excuse me. I think instead of doing any posters on the wall, I think I'm just going to do a light cinder block texture, because having to do posters through the girl who I'm planning on making mostly transparent is gonna suck. We're gonna give her slippers, just so I can avoid drawing feet for a little longer. I don't know why. I've never been able to draw feet. It just doesn't work. Ghost is decided upon. Now we move to the witch. I'm gonna give her kind of like half-lidded eyes, I guess, to show that she's looking down. Now I really don't know anything about tarot cards, so I'm just going to lay them out in a line. I've only been read to? I've only had my reading done once? Is that how that goes? That's not anything. Now that's a sleeve shirt. I want that. I actually think we're gonna make it like a long dress shirt. So for the vampire down here, I'm thinking, yes, I'm giving her a bun. And she's gonna have a little bat ornament sticking out of the top of it. And I think she's gonna be wearing like a onesie. Again, so I don't have to draw feet. The feet of the witch is also successfully hidden by her hand and the card. So I think that's that for the vampire, actually. Let's move up here to the Naga and her space. So I believe Naga are traditionally Hindu. I can look that up real quick. I should look that up real quick. Naga in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism are a member of a class of mythical semi-divine beings, half human and half cobra. So, I don't want to be too cheesy with her design. But I am gonna give her a braid. It's a weird looking braid through here, but we'll fix that later. There we go. Alright, so she's gonna have like a silk shirt style button-up pajama shirt. Maybe we'll give her a pattern, but I'm not entirely sure. Can also give her fingernails. And since we have to take care of her space, she's just got her blanket like piled up over here. And then a nice big pillow. And a decorator pillow. I'm gonna have to be careful about the back line there. I keep erasing it. And now, since everybody else is done, time to head over to the Medusa. Just gonna kind of put in a whole mess of snakes. I think that works for those. Then fix her eyeball there to look actually at the gummy rat. I'm gonna give the Medusa a crop top. Maybe she's also got a pair of shorts on. So maybe this is kind of like there's two groups of friends. This is the Naga and the Medusa's room, because nobody wanted to room with the snake girls. And then the witch and the vampire are friends with the Naga, and they were invited by the Naga. And then the Medusa is friends with the ghost, and they're kind of like a pair over here that are also hanging out at the same time. I remember it was like this in my college dorm, where I had one closer friend who I invited to hang out, and my roommate had a ton of other closer friends, and she invited them to hang out more, so. And I think I'm gonna suck it up and finally try to draw feet. Sharpened my pencil specifically for this because that's not that bad. Watch as I screw it up in the line art. Alright. Her feet are a little small, but we're going to stick with that. Alright. So that's the window line. So since we have all of the characters ironed out, let's go through and do some details in the background. I think we're just going to leave the beds as boxes. And the windows are going to be mostly dark, but I still want there to be lines in them. I think we're just gonna do thick line art for these lines instead of doing the same technique I did on day 15. A little off center, but that's fine. Let's actually get into the line art. Since today's prompt word is ghost, we're going to start off with the ghost. So the plan is that she is going to be mostly transparent. And then all of her clothes, like this scrunchie, are going to be opaque. Messed up a little there, but oh well. I end so many of my phrases with but. Most of the time because I have like nothing else to say after. Those lines are a little bit too thick or like regular, not dotted enough. If she's transparent, wouldn't you be able to see the other part of her shirt on the other side of her? Like that? That's not how hands work. A little bit of soda flying out the top there. Dang it, I did that hand a little bit too solid. Sorry if I'm suddenly not as talkative, I just actually got really nauseous for whatever reason. Might be the fact that I haven't eaten yet today. The slippers is thus far the only spot I regret making her entirely transparent. Just looks a little weird. Alright, so I think we're going to go clockwise. So we're going to go over to the naga next. I screwed up her eyelashes. I went a little bit too big. Oh, I should have given her fangs as well. Oh well. Her ear point is more round than I intended, but there I go, ending with butt again. It's probably because the answer to all of these is I can't do anything about that mistake now. This technique doesn't yield the best of braids, but it's the only one I know that actually looks semi-like a braid. Just gonna lazily do the drapery in the background because drapery kind of sucks. The head went a little bit wider than I intended, but it kind of looks cute. Wow, I finally have an ending to the butt. Just gonna kind of line the edge of the bed without a ruler, because I mean, it's a mattress. It's not gonna be perfectly square. And this is the corner line here. I'm gonna do that with a smaller pen size. I'm thinking of is using the 01. Cool. And while we're over here, just gonna knock out the window panes as well. Now, since the window panes are gonna be just big, thick lines, thinking of using my 2 Soccer-Graphic, because my 1, which is like the round nib, is dead as a doornail. And this one is fraying, but fine. I'll just have to make sure to be consistent in which angle I pick. So I think I'm gonna do long ways. Make sure to wipe off the edge of my ruler so I don't smear any ink around. I'm gonna take care of both sides at once. I'm gonna take care of both sides at once for this. So from here to here, and here to there. A little bit of that one will be behind the ghost, and we'll take care of that later. All right, there we go. Oh, that's what I knocked off. Ugh. All right, so still have to take care of part of the naga. I don't know yet how I want to take care of the Naga's scales. And also, I need to come up with some names for these girls. Right. So since the Naga is like the lore of the Naga is that they come from this beautifully gem-encrusted palace, I'm thinking of using the name Aloka for her. It's apparently supposed to mean lustrous. For the ghost, I'm probably going to use a pretty normal human name since she's a normal human ghost. For the vampire down here, Minerva keeps coming to me, so I think we're gonna go with that. Gonna color in this bat. I'm gonna give it eyes later with just white ink, because those are already funky. So we have Minerva down here. In her little popped collar onesie. Gonna kind of give her a hint of a fang inside of her mouth there. I'm almost tempted to give her the butt flap, but I don't think I'm going to. I also need to give her hands. I seem to neglect that a lot. Since her palms are down, her thumbs are on the inside. Maybe she drew on herself. It's a little spider web on her other arm. Maybe I'll do the same thing over here. Alright, moving on up to the witch. The first name that came to mind was Galadriel, and I cannot use that name. Nope. Maybe she wishes she were called Galadriel, but... We're gonna go with Agnes for her. And we only need 2 names left, so I'm gonna start thinking about names while working on the witch. Sarah keeps coming into mind for the ghost girl, so I think I'm going to stick with that. So we have Aloka, Minerva, Agnes, Sarah, and we need some sort of Greco-Roman name for Medusa, the Medusa over there. Well, the Gorgon. Medusa's a person, a Gorgon's a race. I made her neck too thin. Oh no. God, I want this shirt so bad. Maybe I'll make one for myself. Since I don't want to have to deal with coloring in nail polish later, I think I'm just going to give all the girls black nail polish. Alright, so I might have to start skipping you guys around a little because I feel like this piece is going to have a lot of... There's still a lot of line art left for me to do, so we're gonna skip you guys forward a little bit. So I'm looking at a website of names right now, and the one that jumps out to me most immediately is the name Bryony. It's B-R-Y-O-N-Y. And the reason why, is because the name means vine-like plant. And I mean, vines, kinda. But I don't think I want to go that literal. So I think I'm going to use the name Dessa. Dessa, which means pledge. want to have another snake kind of like going out to investigate the ghost girl. So if you had to pick being one of these mythical creatures slash cryptids slash magical beings, which one would you pick? And also just in general, like, would you rather be a werewolf? I honestly think of all of these, I'd like to be a Medusa. Or a ghost. Being a ghost could be kind of cool. I'm gonna zoom y'all in for the Quentin Tarantino shot. Nope, never mind. Oh, I only gave her 4 toes. That's what's wrong. Okay, 5th toe. Really wonky. Alright. So now I just have the environment to finish up. I know I said I might do a texture on the wall, but I think I'm going to belay that. While I have this here, I'm going to take my smallest pen and just kind of like give the hint of the window through the ghost girl. I just realized that that should not be. Right. Where'd this cat go? There it is. Oh, lordy. Oh, I just realized that I did that in too heavy of a line weight. I should have done that in a 0-1. Oopsies. Now that I said being a ghost could be cool, I would rather be a ghost, or any kind of dead guy stuck in my head. It's a song I found on Spotify a little while ago. Oh, you know, this line art only took 40 minutes. I think for simplicity's sake, we are just going to leave everything in the background plain. All right, the line art is almost done. I just realized that we didn't do the rug. Every time I think we're done. Since it is a rug, and they're sitting on a rug, I'm not gonna make it the most even. I'm planning on doing a pretty dark rug and then using white ink to make a pentagram on it, because I'm imagining the witch brought in a rug to do the tarot reading on. And then the carpet below is kind of fluffing up in some places. And this is definitely not just a cheat so I don't have to make perfect circle lines. What are you talking about? No, you crazy. Alright. I'm going to let everything... I'm gonna let all of this ink dry, and then we will continue on to the watercolor. Alright. So time to get rid of all the pencil lines. Some of these places where I went a little bit too hard, I have to go in with my Tombow Mononoke liner, and then I don't know what brand of kneaded eraser this is. It's just a kneaded eraser I was forced to buy for an art class I took in college. So I think all of the areas that I did the straight lines, I'm gonna have to go over with the smaller eraser because they're not coming up very easily. I tend to go a little harder with the pencil when I'm working with the ruler. I think that's about as good as we're gonna get it. And we're gonna need both of my palettes out today since it's a watercolor. So up along the top here, we've got my acrylics palette, and then over on the side here, we have my watercolors palette, which we're gonna have to clean some out of. We still have remnants from days 19 and 17 over here. We won't be going in with the watercolor right away, but it's here on standby. Then up here we have my entire spread of ink washes. I realized that I might not explain this well during the normal cut of my videos, but on day 6, I believe, if you guys haven't been following me through all of my Inktober process. I made these individual ink washes using just water and the Liquitex Carbon Black. And this is just because otherwise I waste a whole bunch of ink mixing new washes every single day. And it's only slightly dangerous to be constantly transporting ink over top of my fresh piece. I'm not going to put any black on the palette yet. I don't know if I have anywhere that I'd actually want to use black in this piece. But we'll see about that. So why don't we start with, we'll do the girls first and then the background. And since we started with the liner on the ghost girl, we'll start there once again. And I'm thinking that most of her body and her hair is going to be blue, so all of her clothes are going to be in gray tones. Heck. And this is going to be in the number 5 wash. I want her to kind of have a dark shirt. But not dark enough that you can't see the font, you know? I think we're going to color the can in the same color. Then we're gonna do a lighter color on the shorts. I'm thinking the number 3 wash. And then we'll probably use the number 3 to do the parts of the shirt that are on the other side of the girl. Then a pretty dark color for her scrunchie and her eyes. I want her eyes to be gray. We'll go in with the number 6 on her slippers. Ah, I went inside of her foot. Her foot's gonna have a really weird arch. Then again, they kind of both do, so I think that's kind of fitting. Alright, let's see. Gotta do a lighter wash for the inside of the pants. I don't know whether or not I'm going to do very much of a difference between the color that I'm going to do for the windows and her face, because that's some unfortunate placing. I think I'm going to go in with the number... It makes the most sense to go in with the number 6 wash on the windows. So I think I'm going to do that right quick. because it's like the dead of night. Maybe her hair will be slightly more transparent than her body. So you'll see more of a difference in her hair once we do that. Carefully going around the little snake there. Got a little fuzzle in my brush. I missed a part of the line art here, so I'm just gonna continue the windowsill without that. Alright. Since these are dry, we can now go back in and do shading. And also the subtle hint of these shorts back here. And the inside of her shoes. Alright. So I think also we're gonna do the hints of these beads behind there with some shadow. I want the beads to be colored, but I don't want the watercolor later to run, you know? So I want this girl to have, so Sarah's done. Now we have to move on to Dessa, though I could do a little bit of a better job around Sarah's hair here. There we go. So I want Dessa to have pretty dark skin. Probably wouldn't go as dark as her shirt, so I think the number 4 ink would work just fine. Let's start on this arm over here. I'm trying to pay a lot more attention to what ink I'm dipping into, because I get so focused on what I'm doing on the paper, my brush, when it leaves it, just kind of dips into whatever, because I'm trying to be quick. And that usually ends up with me grabbing the wrong inks, like I've done in a good couple of pieces now. Just realized I should probably be zooming you guys in on some of this stuff, because otherwise it's going to get really boring just staring at the exact same frame for the entire length of time. We'll go back in and do shadows and blushing in a second. I want to give those areas the full time to dry. Ah, outside of the lines. Just gonna kind of feather out that edge with my finger. So I'm rethinking some color schemes for the ghost girl. I think I'm gonna go back real quickly and do her hair in gray tones, because I want the snakes to be blue on this girl. And I don't want there to be too many things too similar about them, because they're already going to practically be wearing the same shorts. And they're also the two that I've kind of like sectioned off over here. So we're gonna go in with a pretty light gray And we're gonna go in with the number 3 wherever she's in front of the window. Maybe even dab the number 4 around the edges. Got a little outside of the lines there. We'll just dab on some white. I'm not planning on making her face too dark. Don't know what that is. Okay, that's good. So I'm gonna give her blue eyes. So I'm gonna leave those for now. Need to go in darker for her mouth. Oh, I forgot her midriff. That's what looks so funky. I went with the number 4, right? Yeah. Yes, because I did number 5 on that shirt. Why does that look too light? Darken up some of these shadows. Add some blush across her face here. Alright. I think I want her to have really dark shorts, so we're gonna go in with the number 6. So, moving on to Agnes. Gonna give her pretty dark hair. I think I'm gonna make her her dress is gonna be the blue color. And I'm gonna make her slightly tanned. I think I am gonna go in with straight up black for the rug, but we'll do that once Agatha's mostly dry. Got a weird texture there, but not exactly anything I can do about it now. I think the only 2 skin tones I'm going to leave truly white are going to be... Well, actually, the only skin tone I'm going to leave truly white is going to be the vampire girl, because she's going to be slightly blue. And she's going... well, Minerva is going to be the only one with a practically white skin tone, because Sarah is going to be slightly blue, and Aloka is going to be, I think, a shade lighter than I made Dessa. Just going to add some shading along her face. She's got... That was still wet when I laid it down, when I just laid that down, so it's a little funky there. I think the only 2 that are going to have blue hair are going to be these 2. And I think I'm also going to give her, like, some black streaks. So she's got black streaks in her hair. I think she's going to have the most blue out of anybody here. So blue, blue, Nah, that's gonna be blue, because otherwise she's gonna be like all black. So blue, I'm gonna make her jumpsuit kind of like a gray color. And this is the number 4 wash. I considered leaving the collar for a blue, but I think that would look weird. Especially right up against her blue hair. So maybe we'll do blue sleeves and blue under the feet. So now moving on to Aloka over here. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So I think I'm gonna do the number 3 wash for Aloka's skin. And we'll go in with a pretty dark color for her hair, so I'm not gonna worry about keeping the eyebrows light. Alright. And while we're waiting on her hair to dry, let's do part of her bedding. We're gonna do, let's see here. Or well, we have to figure out what the heck we're gonna do for her tail as well. I think we're gonna go in with the number 5 wash for her tail. Leave the rattle down at the end light. I'm thinking about maybe going over top of this gray once it's dry with a blue diamond pattern. But we'll see about that. I'm gonna wait for all that to dry before I can do any of that shadowing. So let's go back over here and work on the environment a little bit. Also going to color the rope in here in a gray, so that way we can differentiate between the rope and the snakes. Don't want to use the same color as her pants for her blanket back behind her, so I'm going to do the same color for her pillow as well. And then her comforter is going to be blue. I think hers is going to be a really light gray. Huh. Weird. Got a little splotch over here. Then I think she's dry enough that I can go in and do shadowing on her. A lot of liquid there. Might be a little bit much, but I think it's cute. So now I'm gonna go into her hair with the problem is I can't do the darkest color because her head is also right in front of the window. I'm gonna do the window real quick. Part of me wants to just make it blue so I can also have the dark blue next to the black window, and then the other girl will have more of a light blue hair. Oh boy. And if I do her hair as the dark blue, that means I can do her blanket as black, so I think I'm gonna do that. Alright, I think I'm real quick gonna go grab some food because I haven't eaten yet today. Just after doing this little buddy's eyes. Maybe I'll wait until after I finish up all of what's supposed to be gray. Because I'm pretty close to being done with all the gray. So we're gonna have white walls, slightly blue carpet, blue dress, blue hair, blue patterned shirt, which I'm also going to shade with gray beforehand. Alright, then I have the shading underneath of the edge of the bed here and underneath of her tail. And if her bedding is going to be blue, we're going to do the shading on that with the blue. So let's go in real quick and do the black of this carpet. I think I'm also going to fix up this line art a little bit. It looks a little funky. Smooth out some of my mistakes there. I think one problem with doing black here, I'm going to kind of solve. Down here I have her nails against the carpet and they're already black, so maybe she's holding down one of the cards. I don't know whether or not I'm going to detail these cards or anything. I might add like a little insignia on the back of each in that made up magic language of mine. This ink is so weirdly viscous. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have enough on my brush to be able to do a lot of space, but I do. God, I'm kind of thankful I'm doing this during the day rather than at night when I've usually been doing these pieces. I'm filming this the morning of the 22nd because it's actually my day off. But in the mornings, Rosebud is usually off somewhere asleep in the sun. And that means that I don't have to spend half of the time I'm working multitasking and petting her. As much as I love her, it's very difficult to do art and pet a cat at the same time. Dessa has a weird notch in her leg now, but she's gonna live with it. Or we're just gonna... There we go. Gonna have to go back through and refix Agatha's hair here, because I just screwed that up. I got inside Minerva's knee a little bit there. But we can just thin out her calf a little. Besides, there's a mistake in my line art there that we can fix with this black ink. And I think this space underneath here is actually the bottom part of her dress, so we're going to leave that. All right. So I just realized that for this entire video, I don't want you guys to just be sitting here listening to like me breathing. So I'm definitely going to have some sort of audio or like some, oh, I just realized my camera looks a little fuzzy. That might just be the zoom. I don't want you guys just to be sitting here listening to me breathing, because that is kind of creepy. So I think each section of this video is going to have different music. Don't know what it is going to be yet, because I only have so much royalty-free music. I mean, sure, I have enough that could probably fill up however long this video is going to end up being, but you'd be probably hearing some repeats. And before we put away the black ink, let's go in and do the slightest hint of the continuation of that line. So it is now time to go through and give everybody their, put in all the accents of blue. I haven't actually used this color on anything yet, so I'm very excited to see exactly what this color looks like. At its fullest pigmentation. Okay, maybe not at the fullest. Here. I haven't diluted this down at all, but this is a lot lighter than I was expecting. I'm also gonna go across the straps on her chest just to kind of tie the blue back in. Maybe actually we're gonna do, like, there's sheer fabric there. Let me dab some of that up. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed with how light this color seems to be coming out. That's more the color I expected. I'll have to wait for these other parts to dry more before going in with the full color. I don't mind her hair, or Minerva's hair, being this more faded blue. Because maybe this isn't a fresh dye job. Oh, I just realized I didn't do any shading on Minerva. I'll have to pull back out some of the ink for that. Oh, there's the Rosy Posy. Alright. So we're also going to make Aloka's shaker this more blue color. I think for Aloka's hair, I'm going to mix in some black. I want to see if there's an easier way to go about doing a dotting texture. Alright, so this is going to be a lot of polka dots, so I might snap you guys forward through them. Alright, so some of these turned out to be a little bigger than others, but we're not going to worry about it too much. Since we're over here, I'm going to color in the skull. I don't want the skull to be, like, perfectly white, so we're going to make it slightly boo. Slightly boo. Slightly blue is what I meant to say. This is definitely not the color I had in mind when I was thinking about this. Piece. I'm also gonna freehand in some diamond shapes. I know that nagas are supposed to be based off of cobras, but since I did the rattle on her tail, I want to make her a diamondback. I'll have to bring out a little bit more gray to do some shading on her tail as well. I didn't realize that, but we can take care of that later. We're going to mix a tiny bit of black watercolor with this blue to make a different shading color. And that's the color we're going to use for her hair. All that really did was make the blue more purple toned. Guess I'll have to go over this area with a second layer as well. So using this darker color, I'm going to shade in some areas of Agnes. That's her name, right? Agnes? Agatha? Alright. I think the tarot cards are also going to be blue. But we'll go in with the light blue that we used for the skull. I think this will also be the color of the main carpet, and we'll take care of that in a minute. So on to Sarah up here. Man, I really like this color once it's lightened up. It makes like the perfect powder blue. Alright, I'm going to go in with the slightest hint of a color change over the part of her face that's in front of the window. just to really show how transparent she is. And how does ghost shading work? Just gonna give her the slightest hints of shading. Now over here to Dessa. I'm definitely not covering up my mistakes by adding more line art. What are you talking about? I think I want her shirt to be the darker color. Oh, part of her sleeve is missing. Huh. There we go. I think I'm gonna color all of the gummy mice. I want a slightly darker blue. So let me mix one up real quick. And her comforter is going to be the same color as her hair, so just the straight up normal blue. Alright, so on to the carpet. I think I'm going to have to get a bigger brush. If I have one right now, I might not have one right now. Yeah! No. I don't have any good enough brushes to use for filling all of this in, so we'll just go around with this round brush.
Got the shadow of the ghost girl's clothing up there at least. Because I don't think the ghost would necessarily cast that much of a shadow. Gonna put a little hint of shadow in for her slippers there. This watercolor is having some trouble down here along the edge of the paper, actually covering the paper? It's weird. All right. It feels weird leaving all of this space up here white like that. So we're making this a very blue room with an even lighter blue. We're gonna go around and make all of the walls blue. And this is like the softest hint of blue. There's a whole bunch of shading I forgot to do while I still had the other inks out, so I'll have to go back and do those. All right. Crap. I got inside the line where her hair is. I'm gonna have to fix that up somehow. where the shading is for the window here, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm trying to only pull out as much of this watercolor as I need. Unfortunately, that means I have to keep going back. Huh, little spot I guess I missed over here. Keep picking up little pieces of fuzz or dirt or something with my brush. Weird. That's a lot better for that background. Alright. So let's see. There's a couple of places where I need to go back in with gray, like on Aloka's? Crap, my computer is downstairs and I forget her name. There's a few places I need to do some shading here and probably over here. So let me get out a few of my inks. I'm thinking that I'd be able to do all this with just the 4 and the 5 ink. Alright, gonna change brushes. So alright. So I don't think I'm gonna go in and do any really complex scale texture on the Naga. Okay. It's just the mail truck going by. I think I'm just gonna tap on some dotting texture. I think that's good. Then we need shading on her hair. Dessa's shorts. That's one too dark. Screwed that up, but okay. I'm gonna actually go around my mistake with some new line art, so that way it's disguised. Alright, now the side of the bed over here needs shading. This didn't shade well either, so we're gonna go in with a darker color. Alright, let's see. Something else needed shading. Oh, her shirt. I think I want the shorts to be blue as well on the ghost girl. Because she needs a little bit of something. God, I don't know what's going to be harder. Editing my videos in the way that I normally do, or editing it and actually having to make it 2 hours long. I feel like that's going to be a challenge for me. So now to... there's still some more shading I need to do back here. There's a dot of blue on the bag. Dang it. All right. Now to go in for eye shines. I think I'm also going to color her eyebrow in white.
Any ideas?
The one problem with Sakura Jelly Roll pens is that whenever I use them against watercolor, it always picks up the color. I think I'm gonna add some shines here and there to the ghost girl. All of the snake's eyes need to be white. I just didn't want to be too careful about them before. I always find it's a lot easier to, or at least it's a lot faster to worry about white spaces later. It's probably not the best method. I mean, it definitely isn't the best method. However, it's worked for me thus far. In some areas you can still see the pencil lines when you get in real close, but not really much we can do about that now. Since the vampire girl is supposed to be pretty much just white, I'm gonna actually color her ears in and wherever there's still some pencil marks. I think on the bottom of her feety pajamas, I'm gonna give her some grips. Oh my god, I just remembered. The pentagram! So, 1 point here, 1 point will be back here. So it's supposed to be pretty sketchy. This line is off. We're gonna have to curve it a little to make its mark. We'll go in and fix up some of the line arts in a second. Or like the lines that I'm disrupting. Alright, this line is going to be higher than that point there. It's almost like I should have used a ruler. You know? That would have been smart. Just gonna give the hint of a fluffy texture here. So these are candle markers. Or you'd put more I'm also going to put a candle marker on every point. All right, and I think that finally finishes it.
I hope you guys have enjoyed watching me work on this piece. I hope you guys are excited for tomorrow. Tomorrow's prompt word is ancient. Here's hoping we don't add exponentially more people into these pieces as we go on. Alright, if you feel so inclined, hit that subscribe button and check me out on my other social media handles. Thanks, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.